Already, wasn't entirely happy with the curve we put in this piece in the last section, so I'm just going to go back and do it a bit more to my liking. So again, we'll just take it back to the starting form that we had, so just delete everything but the original piece, and we'll just use the symmetries again. Basically, instead of trying to randomly guess the slant that we're putting on this, I'm just going to use a quick box as a reference. That way we know the slant that we make's perfectly straight. So basically just line up roughly to how we want it, and then we'll just get a poly push in all these so they will line up. Starting to look a little better, but still need a bit more work. Just gonna make this slant a bit deeper. thinking about it, the easiest solution for this would probably be to delete the back faces probably, and then you can just work with a single plane. If you cut it off, you can probably just use a shell to do the thickness again, and then just weld it up. Obviously that didn't come across my mind while I was doing this, so we'll just go for this random. We get to the same point in the end, so it's just whatever works really. It's looking a little better each time. Still a bit of a dip in the middle, which I need to try and sort out. I think I ended up going through pretty much every single method, trying to flatten this little piece out. I think with that diff I can just move the verts up in the middle and it would have sorted out, but for some reason we're just going to make the slope a bit longer. So even if there wasn't a dip in the mesh like there is anyway, the way we cancelled that edge would have caused an error, even if it was flat. So basically curved off an edge right where the crease meets the bottom. So basically we're just going to chamfer for this piece to get the extra edge. And that way, by continuing the loops straight up, that should remove any problems that we should have. There's still a little dent in the middle, which I was all kinds of confused by at the time. Whee! So we got there in the end. There's a bit of skewing on the other side because of the angle we put these vets at as well, so we're just going to have to sort that out. Basically just more poly pushing until it's all smooth. Yeah, so we didn't have any edge loops at the bottom, but upon about to add in these, I realised the bottom's not even welded up. So we'll just fix this up. So there's some all kinds of crazy twisted polys down there. Basically just selecting edges using bridge there. And we'll just add our loops back in. To stop the slight distortion in the shape, we just need to line these up. So that will make sure the curve's the same on the front and back side of the piece. by deleting the edge and putting back in, it should make sure that it's straight. Instead of redoing the topology on the back, we'll just use what we've already got. And we can just pull it back and weld it all up. Go back and do clone to element. Basically, don't know if we're deleting the parts of the mesh we want and parts that we don't. If we did it that way, so I should just pull it out, and we'll just delete a big hole. And then we can just put the piece back. And just weld it all up. Yeah, slowly getting there. Basically accidentally welded these up, so just move that back and recut them in. Cool, so shape's looking a lot better, so we'll just copy this round again. So we want just the one going round instead of all of them. So again, just attach them all and then make sure you weld them all together. Careful of the threshold that you don't weld up all your edge loops and that. Yeah, we just need to sort out all these triangles. So we'll just delete all these middle edges and then collapse all the loops. Looking good. So just do the same again on the other side as well. Because there's loads of stuff in the way, it's easier just to do it in isolation mode. And now the piece is done, we'll just do the X-form reset. Add the turbo smooth back on. And then we'll just do the symmetry again. So we moved it a little bit, so we'll just redo the mirrors. And just remember to name it appropriately. Okie doke. Now that piece is done, we'll just get on and do the bolts that are in the middle of the disc. Yeah, they're standard hex bolts with a rounded base. Basically just align it just to make sure it's in the middle. We'll just go with 18 sides again, because that's what we had for our last hex bolt. So we'll just leave the bottom open, because you're not ever going to see it. As long as you've just got the edge loop in there just to curve the bottom edge. And we'll just use the move and scale tools just to sort out the base. So just cap that just to make a flat surface, and then we'll just put the hex bolt on there. And make sure it's aligned to the middle. So again, we just grow, delete, and then flip the bottom face. And just target weld the corners. Basically just do little cuts on the corners just for our edge loops. And we'll just do a symmetry for the bottom half. It's not particularly the best method to make a piece like this. It's basically just fairly quick and dirty because the piece is so small. Doesn't matter that much, to be honest. Just shift drag that for our edge loops. And because we're doing circular stuff, it's easier just to collapse it really. That way we can actually use our scale tool to adjust our loops. So we'll just continue the shape, just shift drag in, adding in all edge loops as we go, so we don't have to do them afterwards. Just collapse all these, delete middle edge. And just cap off and quad the bottom. Just use the Turbo Smooth to have a look what we've done. there is a bit of pinching on the outer ring. We're just going to try and limit it as much as possible, just by scaling these in. If you want to make it pinch free, then literally just make it with a bunch more edges. So if you want detail like this, essentially it's a hard edge on the side of a kind of dome shape. So you do need more edges if you want it without any edges, any errors, sorry. But the size of this piece, I don't think we're too fussed. I wasn't at the time anyway. You just try and limit it as much as you can, so it's not too apparent. It's not nearly as noticeable as it was now. You'd ideally want another 1 or 2 edges in between each of the flat surfaces. That should get rid of any pinching there is at all. As I said, we'll just roll with this. Just going to make the base a little bit thicker. Basically just using this shrink command. It's right next to grow, just above the ring and loop. Again, I've got that on a hotkey, so just mashing a button. I think that will do. Basically making a circular array here, so we just before we do that, we'll just collapse and do the X form, and then for the circular array you just align the pivot point to the circular part that you're doing it for, and then just I'll count how many clones you need, and just shift drag it around. It's as simple as that, really. So basically just attach them all together and add the turbo smooth. It's usually advisable when you're doing stuff like that is just to go in and individually rotate them a bit, and it gives a bit of randomness to your bolts. Because most people will point that out if all your bolts are facing the same way. So again, we've finished the piece, so we'll just give it a name. And then we'll just add the final symmetry onto the other side so it's matching up. And that's pretty much it. See you next bit.